There was now a lot more teens watching me. I didn't adjust my comedy very much because I was like, well, they found me doing this, so this is what they like. But one thing that I didn't do, and I should have been much more careful about, is I didn't adjust my interactions with my fans. Look, she'll talk to us, she'll interact with us, and she's talking to us from our living room, she'll talk about anything. I didn't think about when I was interacting with my fans, I didn't think about a power dynamic that could have been there. I didn't think about a parasocial relationship. I should have been more responsible in thinking about that, but I didn't even think of myself that way. I was like, yeah, we are friends. Like, I think I felt the same way. And so for me, I was like, well, I'm just talking to my friends. I talk to all of them like they're my friends, my sisters, all the fans. And I definitely should have been more careful with the way I was joking with them and the things I was saying to them.
There's been allegations of grooming behavior, or what do you think they're talking about?
That's the one that got me the hardest. When that allegation came up, that's when I was out. I was done. Because that was devastating and shocking. It was very shocking.
Colleen Ballinger is a YouTuber, comedian, and singer who gained popularity from her character Miranda Sings, a character who is intentionally talentless and very egotistical. She based his character through her experience in Azusa Pacific University and local theatre productions of untalented singers she encountered and overconfident musical theatre students. She told the Times in London that there was a lot of cocky girls who thought they were really talented, and they were so rude and snotty. Then I saw all these girls trying to make a career out of putting videos on YouTube, clueless to the fact that they were terrible. And this sparked an idea for Colleen. Miranda is supposedly a homeschooled young woman who still lives with her mother and uncle. She is eccentric and infantilized and narcissistically believes that she was born famous and is obsessed with show business fame. Colleen began posting on her channel Miranda Sings in 2008, but it wasn't long before her popularity grew. She also began to make parody videos, but her real claim to fame came when she uploaded a video called Free Voice Lesson, which quickly became a sensation.
An example of a scale. Scale. Another way to warm up, some people like to pick words to sing on the scale. I've heard people say bumblebee. So, for example, bumblebee, bumblebee, bumblebee.
And as a result, she received a ton of backlash and criticism. Because of her deadpan delivery, many believed that Miranda was a real person. This was also the early days of YouTube, so it had that kind of YouTube feel of like poor audio, awkward camera angles with low resolution, way before the YouTube hit the standards that it's at today. But in this case, it actually worked very well for Colleen's character. Colleen also never broke character in interviews and maintained characters' mannerisms consistently for years. But it's also important to mention that in 2008, YouTube was still very young and people weren't used to parodies or meta comedy, so many believed that she was a real person. And this confusion actually made her more and more popular. In fact, she was so convincing that she would later reveal that voice teachers had emailed Miranda trying to help her. People didn't know that she was a professional singer singing poorly on purpose. With her ongoing success, she built a bit of a cult following and transitioned into live comedy. On her live shows as Miranda, she continued to sing poorly and would interact with the audience and continue to do her skits. People slowly began to see as she made more and more appearances at things like the YouTube conventions at VidCon that her character wasn't actually real. And by 2013, she began to appear on TV shows as Miranda, such as Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, which was a hugely successful show online with host Jerry Seinfeld interviewing comedians in a coffee shop setting. With her fame growing, she would create 2 more YouTube channels, Psycho Soprano and Colleen Vlogs, and they would also gather a really decent subscriber count. In 2014, her first scale tour began called Self Health, where she supposedly performed in 57 cities, and it did receive a lot of praise from both her fans and critics alike. 2015, Colleen released Self Health, a comedic Miranda Sings book, making her a New York Times bestseller, where it remained for 11 weeks. By 2016, Colleen created and starred in the Netflix original series Haters Back Off, which was a scripted show about Miranda's life. This helped propel her more into the mainstream. Many of her cult fans enjoyed the show, but for new people looking in, it didn't have the same impact on them, resulting in its cancellation after just 2 seasons. Miranda Sings continued to do more global tours across the US, the UK and Europe, as well as Australia. By 2020, she had welcomed her first child named Flynn. In 2018, she started her own podcast called Relax with her husband Eric Stocklin, where she discussed her family life as Colleen, allowing fans to see more of her personal life outside her persona. Things were going pretty well for Colleen at this point, but unfortunately for Colleen, things were about to take a dark turn that potentially has ruined her reputation forever. And this began in April 2020. A former teenage fan of Miranda Sings by the name of Adam McIntyre publicly accuses Colleen of having sent him lingerie when he was only 13 years old.
In 2016, Colleen and Corey were doing a live stream and they stumbled across my Twitter account. They found my tweets really funny, and this was the day before we officially started really talking. They found my Twitter so funny that they said they needed to send me bra and panties that Corey was wearing during the live stream.
The lingerie can be seen in a live stream Colleen did with her friend as she jokes about how funny it would be to send them to him. He explains in a video he uploaded called Ballinger Stop Lying that he worked for Ballinger via her Miranda Sings persona as an unpaid intern and fan contributor. She allegedly asked McIntyre to also find gossip on her ex-husband.
Our relationship slowly turned into me always being asked to go find drama for her, whether it was about Josh, ex-friends, or fans.
Ballinger, in response to Adam's accusation, said she shouldn't have sent him the lingerie, given him access to her Twitter account, or had any sort of conversations with him online at all.
Now, in hindsight, I see how completely stupid of me. I should have never sent that. I don't know what part of my brain was missing at the time that I thought, oh, this is a normal, silly thing to do.
Now, many people actually accused her of being a groomer, which she denied. Now, during this time as well, more clips would resurface of her using racial stereotypes or making fun of certain groups of people, and she acknowledged in response that some of her comedy had been insensitive.
I want to talk about is something that is weighing the heaviest on my heart right now. A video has resurfaced of my sister and I from 14 years ago. We were teenagers, and in this video we are doing characters that are Latina, and the characters are completely based on racial stereotypes. It is not funny, and it is completely hurtful. I am so ashamed and embarrassed that I ever thought this was okay. I was a sheltered teenager who was stupid and ignorant and clearly extremely culturally insensitive.
Despite all this controversy, Colleen continued to make content, and her reputation, although stained, seemed to survive this controversy. However, by 2023, that would change for good. In early June 2023, accusations were made by fans surrounding inappropriate conversations and on-stage interactions beginning in the early 2010s when they were minors. A YouTuber by the name of Cody Rants on June 4th uploaded a video called Why I Left the Colleen Ballinger Fandom. In this video, the creator states that they were contacted by Ballinger after McIntyre had posted this video back in 2020. And because Cody Rants says in the videos that they felt like they formed a bond with Ballinger online, the creator felt the need to defend Ballinger and discredit McIntyre. But as a result, they decided to actually make a new video because they reevaluated the situation and now think that what Ballinger had asked them to do was harmful. Now, Adam McIntyre's video from 2020 came back to light as a result, with many more people finally on McIntyre's side. Adam would actually release another video in response to Cody Rants called I Was Right About Colleen Ballinger, sharing more screenshots from group chats in which Ballinger allegedly made inappropriate remarks. Ballinger, in a Twitter group chat called The Weenies that Adam participated in, asked the teenager, "Are you a virgin and what's your favourite position?" In the same group chat, Colleen allegedly asked the girls to talk about their bodies and puberty, including asking them to describe their first time getting their period. Fans who are speaking up now say that the way McIntyre was treated by the Ballinger fandom dissuaded them from sharing their own stories at that time. One fan named Becky alleged she had an experience on stage at a Miranda Sings show she felt was inappropriate. On stage, she took part in what was called a yoga challenge, and in her role as Miranda, Colleen spread Becky's legs as a fart sound was played. Another fan by the name of Johnny Silvestri began to share his experiences on Twitter on June 7th in 2023. He tells Time magazine that he was 15 years old when he started chatting with Ballinger online in 2012. He would claim that she hosted private video chat calls on apps like Skype and Ovo, and then migrated into a group that was more public called Tiny Chat as her fandom grew. Silvestri said he was in a group call with people whose ages ranged from 14 to 18, and he claimed that the conversations were inappropriate and included a lot of trauma dumping from Ballinger in particular. And just to remind everyone here, she's literally talking to minors. Now, Colleen had a bizarre response to these accusations, and she uploaded a 10-minute video on her Colleen Vlogs YouTube channel titled Hi. In it, she addresses the accusations in the form of a song while strumming a ukulele in one of the most tone-deaf videos I've ever seen, where she sings about lies and gaslighting and manipulation.
Toxic gossip train, you're chugging down the tracks of misinformation. The toxic gossip train, you got a one-way ticket to manipulation station. Toxic gossip train, tie me to the tracks and harass me for my past, 'cause rumors look like facts. If you don't mind the gaps, I won't survive in the crash, but hey.
When there are multiple screenshots of her disgusting behaviour for the world to see with literal minors. She doesn't take any accountability or apologise, and it's not actually about her victims but about her.
Times in the DMs when I would overshare details of my life, which was really weird of me. I haven't done that for years, you see, because I changed my behavior and I took accountability. But that's not very interesting, is it? So let's go on the toxic gossip train.
She completely minimised the allegations, and unsurprisingly, people did not respond well to this. She actually kind of publicly revealed the real person that she is, and not the kind-hearted person who wanted to make people laugh. Another allegation would come as well from one of Ballinger's former fans, alleging that she had sent not safe for work photos and videos from Trisha Paytas' OnlyFans account to him. Now, Trisha is actually a co-host of the Oversharing podcast with Ballinger, and Colleen also allegedly hosted viewing parties of her content, which is only meant to be accessed by subscribers of Trisha's OnlyFans who were 18 years or older. Now, Ballinger denied this, but Trisha in a video stated that she was completely and understandably done with Ballinger.
Just publicly disavowing any association I have with her.
As a result, ZocDoc, a sponsor on Ballinger's podcast Relax, dropped their deal with her, and another sponsor, OneSkin, did the same. Now, if that's not bad enough, in July of the same year, Colleen was then accused of using blackface during a performance as Miranda Sings, where she had dark paint smeared on her face while she sung Beyonce's song Single Ladies. These accusations were denied, and the claim was made that she was wearing green face makeup to look like The Wicked's Elphaba while performing some of its tracks on the tour. Now, in July 2023, Ballinger would cancel the remaining dates of her 2023 live tour as Miranda Sings. In November of that year, she uploaded a video titled Fall Vlog, where she apologises for her behaviour and feels embarrassed for her ukulele video.
The last video that I posted on here is really embarrassing, to say the least. I was being accused of some pretty awful things, and I just was mad, and I should have handled that situation with maturity and empathy, but instead I just let my ego take over, and I'm really disappointed in myself. And I also needed to get the help that I needed to be okay. I'm a mom first and foremost before anything else, and I needed to take care of my kids. So that's where I've been, and but I'm back and I'm here now, and I am not a perfect person, and there are plenty of things in my past that I wish I could go back and redo and fix and change. I don't have control over any of that, and I don't have control over the things people say about me. I only have control over my actions moving forward. And so I'm going to do everything that I can to make sure that I create a positive, kind, inclusive, safe space online with my content. And if you want to be a part of my journey online, I would love to have you, and if not, I completely understand.
She then transitions into a vlog about her life, updating her fans on what's been happening. And it's certainly a more humble and respectful response than the ukulele one. Today she remains active on multiple YouTube channels, her personal channel, her vlog channel, but she focuses more and more on her family life and vlogging, and still has a decent following. But that being said, her videos do not hit anywhere near the viewership she had at her absolute peak. Now, Colleen Ballinger's story is complicated. She's one of YouTube's biggest stars, making her one of its biggest successes. But with that success came a power dynamic that was abused. Some of these fans who lifted her up to fame and wealth were the very ones who sounded the alarms. She crossed some lines that cannot be undone. Now, Colleen never denied the screenshots or claimed that they were fake, and although she was never criminally charged, if these screenshots are to be believed, she doesn't really deserve to have a platform. Time will tell if her reputation can be restored to its former glory, but I, for one, would not be holding my breath on that. But that's it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. As always, let me know what you think in the comments down below. If there's anything in this story that I have not added, I try to include as much as possible, but I like to keep these videos kind of short, so I included as much context that I thought was relevant. Of course, I would like to say as well that I think her behavior was vile and disgusting, and even her initial response to it was vile. I don't really believe that she genuinely is sorry, and I genuinely believe that she's narcissistic enough to think that she could get away with doing whatever she wanted. And for whatever reason felt the need to talk to minors the way she did, I will never understand. But that's it guys, thanks so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Peace out.